you know my art of war. And as you look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then stormy weather's caught you cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you. It's not quite what you foretold. You'll never see it coming. You'll see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done in. By the time it's hit you, your last surprise. I think you got your game planned out to a T, yet I'm 2 steps ahead, yeah. So step into my way, stand down. It's a trap, one more step and you're dead. Yeah, you're dead. Why, just a picosecond ago, clear blue skies, but now lightning struck your last resort. It's not an accident that no one hears your cries as your last strength seems to dissolve. You'll never see it coming. You'll see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done.
Oh my God.
By the time it's hit you, your last surprise. I'm coming for you. My game's always so fast, so fine. You're spun in by the net you didn't catch it in time. Better think about your game. Are you sure your next move's the right one for you? Are you sure you won't get outmaneuvered again and again, my friend? You'll never see it coming. You'll see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done in. By the time it's hit you, your last surprise. I'm coming for you. My game's always so fast, so fine. You're spun in by the net you didn't catch it in time.
Oh my God. Okay. Crap. Crap. Hello.
Yo.
Where's CJ?
Hold on.
Alright, I'm playing that music again.
Yeah. Turn on.
Oh, he did.
More Insane in the Rain stuff.
What's up, guys?
Ah!
Hey, there he is. CJ in the house.
What up?
What's
All
up?
right.
All right.
How you doing, CJ?
Doing okay. Sorry, I just kind of like back to backs here.
You're fine.
But
you're good.
So how's it going, guys?
Pretty good. Prem over here is about to have an aneurysm if you didn't show up in the next 5 seconds. So
No, if you didn't show up.
you saved his life.
If you didn't show up.
You saved his life.
I had to go get a little throat lozenge. I've literally been talking all day, so I'm like, oh shit.
Alright, you good do that, and once we do that, we can get this intro started and all that. But until
Cool, man.
meantime, you guys listen to this nice music.
I asked the guy nicely, and he said I could use his music, so I'm using his music.
Whose music?
Insane in the Rain music.
He does like a lot of jazz covers of video game music and then anime music.
Oh, dope.
So, like last, that was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago we had Spike Vegeta, Patty, and Bonesaw 577 on, and we used his very jazzy, very classy cover of the Me Shop music.
Okay.
Memes aside, quality recording and a great arrangement.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's not taking that. I thought that was gonna work. I haven't used this webcam in a while, so it's not that one. It's not connecting. Oh well. What are you gonna do?
Anyone's in my chat right now, say something so I know that my chat's working. Once I know that is, I can start the show. For some reason, it's not letting me chat in my own chat. This is crazy.
I was having some issues yesterday. I was trying to do. I've been trying to explore utilizing reruns because we've got endless content that we can dip into. And I started it, looked all right. Came back to it like an hour later, and like the screen's black. The screen's black, and I'm like looking at it and like on different browsers. It was working, and then I don't know what's going on. I've been trying to utilize reruns, but I feel like it's either broken, something. It was bumming me out, man.
I think it was the week before ADGQ when they were doing some reruns before that. There were a couple weird rerun issues. What run? There was one run I was trying to watch, and halfway through it just cut, and chat exploded and did Twitch chat things. But
I don't pay. I hope my audio is okay. I'm using my headset here. Sorry, I'm good.
that's great.
I remember. I remember experimenting on reruns, and it was a great thing. But right now, it's time to run into another episode of Mind Games. What's happening, everybody? It's your boy D Disciple with our other guest, co-host Esterion. You know him as Prem. And today we have a very special guest out here. Yo, NorCal, if you're in the chat, you should know this man. You should know about the showdown, the legendary, where Armada lost to a Kirby, where D1 spilled his hearts out, and where pretty much where a little bit of non-esports was just around, and y'all just go to the Foundry and have a good time and have a drink, and also where I'm not yelling, the Juan Energy came from. Give it up for our boy CJ Scaduto. How you doing?
What up? I'm glad to be here. Appreciate being here. It's been a wild journey, so I'm excited to kind of talk to you guys about it all. So
yeah, super stoked. It's gonna be really cool. Yeah, we're gonna talk about some organizational developmental stuff, overcoming obstacles in the process. So yeah, let's hop right into it. So first and foremost, I want to say that the way I met CJ is I went to the Foundry one day, having kind of tinkered with Stanford Video Game Association, and good lord, it's just like it's one of those memories that will be continuously impressed upon me. This standing on that top floor, looking down and being, oh my god, there's so many people here that are playing games, having beer, and just generally like there's no animosity there. It's wonderful. So that will always be one of those kind of like seminal moments in when I was like, oh shit, I kind of want to get into esports and gaming and be on the other side of that instead of just being a viewer. So just thought I'd throw that out there.
Let's break down to when I met him before you interrupt me again.
Go for it.
I'm just going to remember from the time when CJ and I actually had like a sit-down, heart-to-heart chat. It was literally last year's Evo's party and everything, at the party.
Yep.
Like, we're all in the VIP.
Yep.
Having good drinks, just talking, and we were just shooting the breeze the entire night for a while and everything. That was like some real good, wholesome things. So yeah, I'm actually really excited to have you like on the show. Pram over here, he was mad excited. He was getting a little bit nervous. I had to have him breathe and everything. Like, this man would not let me drive home in peace without dying. Like, if I died, we would not have the show, and I'd still think he would be upset because he would be more upset that we didn't have the show than me being dead and everything. So, shots out there. But no, it's real great to see you again. Like, I need to hit up NorCal, my home, all of that.
Yeah, I remember that night. Yeah, that was a good night. I had to stay sober up until that point because I think there was like crazy drink prices. Oh, I'm not paying $22 for whatever.
It was insane until there was like, unless you have that wristband, you ain't got to pay for none. I'm like, all right, cool, man.
So I was a sad puppy. I was like, I don't want to. Can somebody give me one, please? But yeah, that was good. That was good times. We got to hang out there finally because it was just it's interesting because there's a lot of people on the West Coast that I've gotten to know and be friends with. And then obviously a lot of people have come to the Foundry every once in a while or I'll see at Genesis, but I don't get to travel a whole lot. So it's cool to finally meet people or engage or like just be in person. Cause I've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. And for the past 4 years, literally my son was born and then a week later Showdown held its first event. So it's been like madness. So anytime I ever hosted an event or did whatever, my wife would look at me and go, so you're going to leave me with the kids, huh? All right, cool. I see. So I don't get to go to many places or do many things. So it's fun to finally be able to hang out. And so it was good. It was good times. It was a good night. And I was sober for most of that. So I remember all of our conversations. It was good. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention the conversations we have just in case, wants to get upset. It was great times. Thank you for the host, Ragenheimer. But yeah, let's jump into some of these questions and everything. Like, Prem being super organized this time, even gave me color-coded questions to make sure that I hit right on it and everything.
Yo.
All right, so
trying to do it right.
All right, so let's just start this down. Let's go in. Obviously, most of us in here are part of the Smash community and also about Showdown. So let's talk about how did you get started with Showdown? Like, what was the goal and all of that?
Man, so a long time ago, this all started because of Halo 1. I was always the guy. Now, I played games my whole life, but I was also the sports guy too. So I was always kind of the gamer of my sports guys group, and I was mostly a sports guy that played video games. So I played every sports game there was, and then I'm going to date myself here. I was in high school, and it was 2001, 2002. It was my senior year, so I graduated 2002. And Halo came out, and that was the year that I got to experience. Now I was beating the shit out of people, all my friends, Big Fish, Little Pond, with GoldenEye. That was the first game. I was like, God, I love this. It was fun. I love having people over. I love the competition. I love the shit talking. It was fun. And then Halo came out, and then you could network, and then you could have multiple people out. So every day after high school, my spot was the spot. I drove my parents nuts. We would do 8-on-8s. It was Halo 1, CTF. It would be 4 to 5 hours of smelly teenagers in one house. And my parents just would go, God. Because we'd be utilizing their TV in the bedroom, so it'd be like 4 dudes on my mom and dad's bed, like playing on their TV, going, "Hey, what's up, Mr. and Mrs. Scaduto?
Your parents let you use their room and everything?
Yeah, it was bad.
My mom would have kicked everyone out. Like, no, we ain't doing this.
Yeah. So I was my house was the spot, and I loved the hosting, loved the vibe, loved everything about it. So looking into it, I'm going, you know what, Mom? There isn't a place to go because the arcades are old and busted. Those things stink. And then because I actually grew up in Redwood City in California, and right down the road, 5-minute drive, was an arcade. It's called Malibu Grand Prix. And I used to go there, and I used to play all those games. That's how I got into and started getting interested in games like Street Fighter, alongside the casual or the fun, like the Simpsons, right? Everybody loved being able to play with your friends, but then obviously you had the Mortal Kombats and the Soul Blades, I think, at the time, and whatever else when I was a kid, and then you would play against your friends. So after a while, after Halo, I just was like, God, there's gotta be a way to do this. There's gotta be, because I'm business oriented. So I was like, man, there's gotta be a way to like make this happen, but in a legitimate way, in a way that the arcades aren't answering it. So I said, all right, cool. So I had this idea in my head. And then, come graduating high school, my aunt had her own business. She was an entrepreneur. And she said, if you go to college, you get your management degree, you can help manage my business outside of college. I'm like, cool, I got an opportunity. So I go to school for a business management degree, and I get some entrepreneurship classes in there. And one of our last classes, and it was a core class, and it was create your dream business. And I went, and this is in 2007. I got an idea. So I teamed up with like 4 or 5 guys, and I went, guys, I'm going to get us an A, but I don't want you to touch anything. And they went, what do you mean? I have the entire thing in my head already. It's been 6 years festering in here. And I presented a few months later what was originally called Game Escape. And the idea was kind of what you see actually at Esports Arena. The idea was competition, representing regions, because I was a sports player. So I understood like how baseball is most exciting when my Giants are playing the Dodgers. And that's good for baseball. It's good for sports, rivalries, and all these other things. So I went, all right, cool. So maybe there's a way of local pride I can introduce into these things to create this cool game vibe. And then we can take it across the United States as a revised arcade. And so ultimately I had a squat. I sat on it for a bit, and it wasn't until, God, what's the phrase, the FGC, the 08ers or something, where
08ers or 09ers?
Yeah, 09ers. That's what it is, 09ers. So I guess I am, because, I mean, technically, even though I was trying to do this for a long, long time, I presented to in my course, in my school, to 4 angel investors, by the way, which made me nervous. It made them look at me like I had 2 heads, because they're like, video games, competitions, what the fuck, are you crazy?
Yeah, and are you high right now, sir?
Yeah. But what was funny was all the students in the course, and during that presentation, and I went, you guys have any questions? And all the students were like, fuck yeah, I do. I want to do this thing. How do I do this? Yada, yada, yada. And the angel investors were like, so Pong, that's a game, right? Competition. So many years down the road, I'm looking at competition on Twitch comes around, Justin TV at the time, and I went, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I fell in love with StarCraft. I started hosting StarCraft events. So finally, after hosting a few StarCraft events, I came across my team members, and we had this idea, let's host some barcrafts. And then a few months later, I found the perfect venue I'd been looking for a while to host events, and it was the Foundry. And at the time, we had a bunch of our partners, and we said, let's try this thing. And it was kind of and still is almost a half measure to what I've always wanted to do. So the Foundry represents me partnering with a venue and basically doing almost what I want to do, which was always be the guy that hosted games and events and competitions. So
that was the guy that I wanted to be too.
Yeah,
I probably could still do it. I could probably still do it. I just gotta stop being lazy about life and stuff. Yeah. That is
when you first pitched to the Foundry, were they skeptical? Were they like, I mean, you can try, but
so here's what makes it fun. Now I'll tell you, I was looking for venues for 2+ years or so. I hosted a few barcrafts in different areas, and I had walked in with the pitch a few times, and I was like, all right, well, so when I walked into the Foundry was new, so it didn't really have a client base, didn't have established days to its name. So like Mondays are whatever. At the time, it was like ping pong or something. So I walked in and I said, hey, we were looking to host another event, because at the time, my now partner, the reason why I came across the Foundry was I had created another esports organization. We can go into it later, but he hosted a League of Legends viewing party. And I came into that viewing party because I was like, cool, this is another venue space that's interested in gaming. And so when I walked in, I talked to the owners. They happened to be gamers. They're in their, at the time, mid-30s. And I looked around, and they're like, oh yeah, you want to see some stuff? One of the owners had drawn like a big mural of Akuma and another mural of a night elf from World of Warcraft, from Warcraft. And I went, oh, this is awesome. So I gave them the idea, and they went, yeah, we got nothing else going on. Let's do this. I was like, all right, cool. That was easy.
They're like, yeah, I got nothing else to do. Let's just do it.
Like drinking and playing video games is what I already do for a living. So why don't you host something? So
I wish things were that simple over here. Oh my god.
I mean,
the thing though, I've been doing it for a while, and it's not that simple. Foundry made it simple, but
yeah.
You know.
I mean, I can't think of many places where that's really a viable option. Like we tried to get it going in Macomb with a local bar, and they just could not make it work. Yep. And there's some special sauce in the Bay Area water. I think that's probably what it is.
And they were adventurous. They had the venue. They were hungry. And I literally right before this, reason why I was late was I was finalizing an agreement for other locations, and it's like 10 pages long, and it dictates things like, who gets paid what and how does this work. And I've been pitching locations throughout the Bay Area and throughout the United States for since the Foundry existed for 4 years, and so still haven't found that magic. Owner plus good venue plus combination of it all. It's very hard to do. So
for sure.
It's no knock against, I don't think it's just you. I mean, shit, I've tried a million times, and I already have one already existing, and I can't. It doesn't work. So,
yeah. So, one of the things that when I first met you, the vision you had for this kind of all-inclusive space, where really anyone that has any appreciation for games can come and they'll find something that fits their needs.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if in the growth of esports and kind of the professionalism of it all, are there any holes that you think are just sort of that have developed that we exist, but we don't really know how to plug them?
So 2 things. One is I'm only going to disclose so much because I don't want someone else going,
Write this down. I'm writing all of this down right now.
So
don't worry.
I got a notepad. You can't
give
see.
Me the...
There's some low hanging fruit, I think. I think the success, I think where everybody fails, not necessarily fails, but I think fails to at the full potential is when you focus 100% on esports is where you have the most uphill battle there is. And right now you got a cradle to grave issue where young kids to, the baby boomers, up to like mid 30s, they've already accepted and jumped on board to just competitive gaming. But a lot of these venues are going 100% competitive gaming when the issue is the people with the expendable income haven't really caught up yet, right? The 50s and 60s. When you watch a golf tournament, you see like Rolex watch and drive the BMW of your dreams. That doesn't happen in esports right now. It's more like, it's very lower. Not many people have expendable income. So what everyone's trying to do is 100% esports to build. It's a building effort, right? Everyone's trying to invest into it. But the problem is a lot of these other ventures that I've seen and continue to see there's so much into just competitive gaming that is like a niche of a niche, right? Whereas the Foundry had already mentioned that we kind of throw a lot at people and there's little elements in little micro communities.
Yeah. And
I think where a lot of people fail that we've succeeded at, which is trying to offer just enough to everybody else to kind of bring everybody together. There's more elements that can be tapped into. We're really trying to tap into VR, but with some apprehension. VR is a single person experience right now for the most part. And so when you come to the Foundry, one person is in 10 by 10 foot of space. That's premium, right? So VR is going to be a new space. It's very interesting that I can see. I love AR. AR is going to be, I think is going to be really cool. Seeing those sandboxes where people can put their hands in the sand and it creates different things. I think that's going to be an experience that I want to pursue and people should. And I think unique experiences within gaming, not necessarily tied to competition, is going to be the avenue that people are going to experience success in, not just competition. Barcades are probably a perfect example, is going the completely other way, which is we just make sure there's arcade machines out so that people can play and they self-maintain, whereas my organization tends to facilitate the experience. They're kind of just put it out and let them play. So there's a wide variety of things you can do and still be successful. It just depends on, I don't think esports solo is a viable option right now because
and that was my next question.
I've tried.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen that with a lot of kind of smaller organizations where they're not sure how to find the balance between your casual gamers and your esports gamers. Mm-hmm. And they will skew it too far to one side and inevitably alienate the other. Yeah,
I think so too. I think what ends up happening, I look like a ghost on my webcam. I think it depends on your market and how you approach it. I always wanted to approach it a particular way. But while on that path of trying to host fun events, we discovered competencies and revenue streams. And I hate to get businessy on this thing, but video production was something that I didn't think that I wanted to pursue. And it just came into it because when we started doing our Smash Brothers events, people went, "Can you do that for us?" And we went, "Well, Smash Brothers?" And we're like, "No, can you produce for us?" And at the time, I just so happened to have a few people on our team that had the background. One guy has been an audio engineer for humongous events for forever. That's his gig. And then he was doing this on the side. There were other people that came up, like Spencer came up and learned production through Showdown. And now he's like one of the world's greatest streamers there is. I mean, he's the most talented guy I know. And he picked up a lot of skill sets as a kid. Obviously he's familiar with computers, and then he developed them further in the esports and gaming and video production side, pieced it together. And so those avenues, we almost created ourselves just out of competency and curiosity. So that's just how we went. That's not necessarily the goal. It was kind of a fortunate circumstance, I suppose.
Pretty much like a branch that just extended out, and you're just like, I'm going to veer it off this way now. Yeah,
a little bit. It stretched us thin. It didn't make us So we tried 1,000 things, and then we had a few hit, we had a few stop, and we try to move them out. But now we've kind of chiseled it a little bit further and further. Some out of necessity, others out of just like banging our heads up against the wall too many times. And so now we kind of boil our efforts down into like 3 core categories. So,
kind of in the same vein, in the developmental period for a showdown, did you ever just spread yourself too thin, and kind of how did you deal with that?
That's my flaw. That's a character flaw of mine that I've been always focusing on. I think I thrive in chaos, but also it's a detriment to me and my efforts. So I have the thing that I'm most regretful towards was really taking an effort and owning it. It would be, let's try this. That didn't work. Let's try this. That didn't work. You really need to find a sustainable way to create this business. And so I stretched myself out too thin. Not many people know this, but for a very brief few months of time, we were like the second biggest Rocket League stream there was, because I got some very talented people that I was fortunate enough to meet and work with. We put together a Rocket League effort, and we put together a quick little agreement with the Foundry. We went to the Twitch and we got some funding from them. They were able to sponsor a $1,000 monthly tournament. So we had 3 monthly tournaments. So by the 3rd monthly tournament, we were like sitting on top of the most watched thing that wasn't the RLCS. And we were like, woohoo, things are great. But the problem was I didn't build upon the foundation properly and put in together contracts, things that protected Showdown, things that were embraced the Foundry or helped Twitch. And because I had stretched myself so thin that by our 2nd broadcast, we were supporting Vainglory as a video production thing the next day, the same day that we did our monthly tournament. We came together and everything was in shambles. The stream went to shit. I had to cancel a monthly tournament with a $1,000 prize pool mid-tournament because our internet went to shit. And it was something slightly out of our control, but that was a result of me stretching too thin, trying too many things. It took off, but then I didn't build that foundation. And so my problem has always been, if I'm going to have it, there's steps 1 through 10 or whatever to get it done properly. And sometimes I'm going 1, 4, 6, 10, and I'm there, but I didn't do it right. You know?
Right.
Like that old saying, if you're going to do something, then do it right.
Yeah, I'm not owning it, right? It's just, it's another thing that we do. But if it's the phrase being wide but shallow, right? So like you do a lot of stuff, but you don't really own those categories. So Showdown, for a while, I was taking us in a lot of different places trying to see what hit. But ultimately, there were a few things that have only been successful for us. And had we pursued those more aggressively, there was a point in time where we were the 2nd biggest Smash stream. And I was pursuing it, right? I think we did Big House 5 or something in the 2nd stream. And then I looked at things, and there's no knock against Gimmer or anything. Gimmer's a great guy with a great stream. But then I went, Gimmer's at the top of Smash totem pole for streams. But then I know his situation, and that's not a situation I want to be in. So then I went, okay, the best guy in the industry or the most popular, most common is not where I want to be. I want to be even bigger than that in terms of not success, but like financial stability and all these other things. I went, all right, so I backtracked a little bit. Okay, we went a little too hard on Smash. Let's see what's going on, because getting paid $250 a day to do a stream, I'm not saying that's what Big House was, but I'm saying like you go and you support an Arcadian or you support an event, and I'm like, I'm bringing $15,000 worth of equipment, paying a guy a couple $100 for the day for us to get compensated a few $100. I had to spread ourselves a little thin. So
I remember this conversation. This was what we had at Vegas too.
Yeah,
that was because the moment you said, I was like, this all sounds really, really familiar right now. Not the gamer part. No, we ain't talking about gamer or anything, but
yeah, I mean, I look at Gamer and I am inspired by it. Overall, though, that was not a path in 2007 and 2001 that I wanted to take. It was, I want to host fun events. Mm-hmm. I want to host competition. It wasn't, you wanted
to host like the things that you like would know that you would find fun and conversation and everything too.
Yeah. I mean,
like you wanted it to reflect off of something that you would do in terms of production and everything. Yeah.
Because the opportunity presented itself and we took it doesn't mean it was a smart idea.
Yeah.
And so that's why now I have an apprehension towards taking on new projects, because I go, is I have to start thinking about, like, is this true to me? What I want to do? How? And then in order for me to get to where I want to be, or where it would be necessary to be successful in the category that I'm pursuing, do I want to do that? And oftentimes, for a while there, I was dipping my toe in the water, and I'm like, that's not what I want. And so it would be a half-ass effort, or not my best effort, basically. So,
and I feel that. Like, I'm pretty sure that Prem and I have been like that before, especially like with me during like certain MC events and everything. And I'm like, do I want to do this? And then I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna half-ass this right now. So I ain't gonna say which events, but y'all might know which ones.
I love when Leffen went off on that one time. He's like, do we need to do this? That was just one of the moments in Smash. I don't think.
Oh, the one that you're talking about, the one that Smash and Splash.
I really wish that we wouldn't do these things.
Yeah, when he goes like, I wish we didn't have to make force. I'm just like, hey, I gotta do my job. But that wasn't what I was talking about. That wasn't what I was talking about, though.
I mean,
I'm not afraid of it, that's what I think of.
A lot of people think about that.
D has heard me whine and bitch and moan so much about Left. Like, super, I respect him as a player, but God, I get so annoyed with all of the stuff he starts on Twitter. I'm like, dude, stop, man.
He's necessary. I'll tell you.
I know he's necessary.
Hungry Box, necessary. Like, these guys, yep. It's the reason why Melee is what it is. It's because you have the variety.
Oh yeah.
And I love it. Like, I love the elements. Now, granted, if you said that to me being kind of me, I would listen here, you little shit. But it, whatever. It is. I think overall, whether you don't like it or you do, I think it's actually contributory to it. It's not the things that hurts it are made up for an entertainment value that I think contributes to the scene and makes it more relevant. Yes. So I think it's fun, it's ridiculous, it's silly, it's whatever, all those little things.
Yeah, I mean, every player has their like niche that dislikes them, and for the most part, their reasons are like, actually, no, that you need them in the scene. Like, you can't dislike Axe for playing something ridiculous as like Pikachu.
I mean, you can, but it's just wrong.
Well, you shouldn't, and it's wrong. And if
I know
you
they shouldn't, because as another Pikachu may know, that's my boy. Don't be coming at him like that. But like, if Laughing's on the tidbit where he doesn't want to do it and stuff, and like everyone's like no comments or whatever. It's like I like those type of flavors and everything. I like people to really express themselves and not just be like, I'm gonna fuck you up this set and everything. Like, nah, man, come on, like, be real.
I think it's necessary. I got into this, really got into it. The jump, the thing that amped me up was StarCraft.
Oh God, yeah.
When StarCraft 2 was king, before League really kind of took the mantle there for a while. Now it's arguably mixture of a few other games, but before, what got me interested in StarCraft and as a fan of competitive gaming was the personalities. And so I never really was into the Korean scene, even though they were the best players. I loved the personalities. I loved watching the EG house. Like, I loved seeing all the characters that came into play. And then you go, oh, by the way, they're also decent at games. It was just like, how do I care? I loved caring about people or understanding and seeing what they're all about, what their persona was. And so those guys I think that's what's necessary for competitive gaming, is being able to show that. And I think you compare that to like NBA and NFL and all these other things. And I think the NBA is going to dramatically get boosted, is going to continue to grow bigger, whereas NFL seems to be stagnated, if not hurting, because it's the people that they're highlighting. It's the personalities. Like in football, they have to have their helmet on, right? So you can't even see the person itself. For all you know, it's somebody else. Whereas in NBA, these guys walk around, they got crazy tattoos, they got this personality, cool hair, cool shoes. It's all about presentation and personality, and they're talking shit on the court. You can see it. So that's when I see like Smash Bros and the shit talkers and the like. That's why I've always said, and he's a nice guy, but Armada winning is bad for Melee. it's bad. I'm sorry, I'll say it. From a viewership standpoint, having somebody think about Genesis 4. What happened in Genesis 4?
That
was the speed run. That was the speed run set.
Okay.
Top 8.
How is that good? How is that good?
It's not. I mean, I understand exactly what you're talking about because I had this talk with even Mr. Wizard.
Yeah.
Where I'm not gonna say that he didn't want Smash, but he was getting sick of Smash because it was the same top 8. Or when he talked about when Smash 4 when Zero won the first Evo Smash 4, he said it was boring because he just said like it was a Zero just running a train on everybody. Like Zero literally didn't drop a game; he destroyed everyone. Like when he played Mr. R, he destroyed Mr. R and everything. So like, when like if you're trying to sell something and it's always the same product over and over and over, it gets to the point where everyone's like, well, what do I want to do? Like, do I really want to keep investing in this, or is someone going to step up and everything? Like, I love Armada. I love Armada. I love Mango. I love all of them. I was more than happy when Mango started like dropping off when it wasn't just Armada and Mango always in grand finals and stuff. Even though it would be great to see that back, I was glad to see him slightly fall off and someone else started to rise up. And then like it's getting to the point where it's Hungry Box and it's this now Plup is kicking in, like Plup's being fresh.
Plup is the X factor.
And that's good for Melee, right? I remember reading one time, it really changed the way that I thought about it. And I think it was, God forbid, on the Kappa, because I definitely have to read all of these things, okay? And I look at it, and then because our Kappa always makes fun of the Smash, and it's weird because I toe the line on a lot of communities. So I'm always trying to gauge, and somehow or another I always get brought back to that place. And somebody had said something, and the criticism for Melee was like, it's been figured out. Like Smash 4 hasn't been figured out because you look many years down the road, Melee or like Melee's been out for so damn long that there's very few things that hasn't been discovered in Melee. Whereas Smash 4, I bet 5 years down the road there'd be maybe some new tech or some new things because it's new, right? And there's some new things, some nuance. I actually don't think that's good for Melee. So when Armada beats the shit out of everybody all day, all night, no matter where he is, and then he isn't an H-Box or a Leffen, like if you suddenly replace Leffen with Armada from a winning standpoint, Leffen, that would be better for the entertainment factor for Melee because Leffen is an entertainer. Armada is a competitor. There are two completely different things. Armada will be there. He will beat the shit out of 60. You put 63 other little children in a room, like they'll just be decimated.
It'd be true.
And it won't be entertaining, but like Leffen will shit talk. He'll like do whatever, and I'd just be like, I'd watch that over this any day, and just anybody like them, right? So I have a hard time with stating that Melee's stagnation there for a bit. It hurts. So when I see Plup and I see a Leffen doing well here and there, or Mango or whatever, I think it's great.
Or Leffen versus Axe Grand Finals and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurt me so much.
Hey, man, but you know what though? It's cool to change it up.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things.
No. I'm talking about just him getting second. That hurt me a lot.
But I mean, I see that with Smash 4. I'm like, dude, when we started getting more competitive sets with like DeBuzz and Salem and everyone able to actually take games off of Zero when it mattered, and in grand finals, the quality of just watching Smash 4 spiked dramatically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because it felt up to God, I don't even know. I think just before Zero Saga, it was just monotony.
Zero taking everything is boring. It's stupid.
I mean, if it's always the same person taking everything, it gets really boring and everything.
Yeah,
you can't hate on them for that because I mean, like,
there's no hate. It's just
they're sticking up for the best for
make money on entertainment.
Yeah,
right. I mean. So going back to the NBA as a brief topic as a connection, it'd be like if we had another LeBron super team and it just kept on winning. I don't care anymore.
Like
Yeah,
I
Well,
always saw the
thankfully-
Spurs in the finals.
Yeah, thankfully we have the Spurs, we have the Dallas Mavs that year, we have the Warriors. Just they make sure that the equilibrium is kept and that Michael Jordan remains GOAT. That's all that matters.
there's a lot of elements there. Yeah.
Okay, so with the NBA in mind, I just want to kind of get your impressions on how the NBA and NBA organizations are getting involved in esports, because
Mhm.
from where I stand, it seems like it's this incredible step forward for both worlds.
Oh, all right. I gotta be careful here because
We are in some dangerous territory right now.
I know some people. There are some things that I can't speak of, or I can't speak to. But so I think I'm going to be as open as I can here without really trying to hurt my relationships with people in that industry. I think competitive gaming is best when there's no better alternative or different alternative to watch. So I'm not going to watch a fox beat the crap out of a marshmallow in real life and find it entertaining. It's not going to be very cool. But if I watch, I don't know, that was a terrible analogy, but it's melee. But the idea is like in basketball, do I want to watch Steph Curry or do I want to watch somebody playing Steph Curry in a game? So I've always had a problem with that. So because to me, my mind will always go, but what if it's in real life, right? But there's no gaming. It for like melee is the last step, right? And traditional sports, the reason why these things have already existed, Madden has been I've hosted Madden tournaments back in 2007 and 8. I was a TO in Reno. I was TOing. Nobody knows this.
I TO'd a Madden event.
Did you?
I hated it.
Okay, so I used to TO Melee, by the way, so I'm no fraud.
Oh, I know.
Like I used to TO back in 2007, 2008 in Reno, but actually 2004 to 2008. So these sports games have already existed. They've been around for a while, and from a competitive standpoint, that's the thing that's already existed is like online play. For Madden has existed forever and ever and ever, and they've even had TV shows. They've even done this before. Like the Madden competitions used to, I think there was a TV show like 10 years ago. And it just doesn't take off simply because I think ultimately there is the next step, which is football.
Right.
And so I have a hard time doing that because I think what traditional sports games are is a highlight of the peak of physical ability by a human being. And what a video game like Melee is highlighting mind games, whatever else, but like actionable items that only see what I did there. It's highlighting things that only people can do in a game, right? But as like, do you find it very impressive that somebody went up for a dunk in a video game? No. But like seeing LeBron drop some shit or whoever at the time, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So I think there's ultimately, unfortunately, always the next step for traditional sports games.
And
I hope it goes well.
And I guess kind of extension, things like the Golden State Warriors investing in a league team. What is it? Golden State Rockets and Cavs.
Golden Knights.
The Warriors, 100 Thieves, and Clutch Gaming, which the last one hurts me, but whatever.
So I think what you're seeing from a business standpoint is these guys are afraid of losing relevancy. They have money, they understand sports, and so they're investing into something. So traditional sports are afraid, and I know this because they wouldn't have aggressively bought in. This is still early steps in esports. This is still competitive gaming. This is like entry still. Right, regardless of the Blizzard $20 million deal that everyone went freaking nuts for, that's chump change. That's nothing compared to the money that all this other stuff is. So the fact that they're buying in now tells you that they're trying to invest in the future of their brand, their competition. And I say this, and I can't reference who I know this from, but I know a few people that do manage some of those teams. And so I understand they know there's a value in investing now because they see the distribution of entertainment keeps getting wider. Traditional sports, regular sport, or esports. People are niche in their entertainment now. Like at some point, Netflix, you look at your comedy series and your whatever else, you have your favorite podcast. People don't want ESPN anymore. They want the tennis channel, the golf channel. Like, they don't want broad entertainment now. They want very niche. So these guys are really struggling. They're like, cool, we got a niche form of entertainment, but what if we lose relevancy? So now they're trying to broaden a little bit. I can't blame them for it. I say go for it. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a smart idea. It's like, might as well take a chance. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
And then one just yes or no question: do you think there's any risk of those kind of organizations, because they do have so much more money than your traditional esports gaming organization? Is there any risk of them kind of muscling out kind of these well-established gaming organizations like TSM, CLG?
There's one thing I can't. So I'm aware of a rebranding, a pending rebrand for a very long. There was It's going to be weird if this happens, and it's kind of crazy to think about. But there are particular teams that are looking to rebrand well-established esports brands and to absorb them into particular other brands. Okay, it's going to be a little bit louder here. My kids are going to show up.
That's fine.
So the threat is to my organization too. So you're looking at new opportunities that were seized by small organizations, and now big organizations are coming through. I call it the old money, are coming through, and they're going to try and muscle out people. And the reason being is while this was the gold rush in the beginning, now you're going to see old money
come in and try
to muscle people. And so when you look at things like, I got to reference it. I mean, I love the esports, and I don't want to, my relationship with them aside, like, everybody else is hosting like $200 pop bonuses for Smash 4, $500 pop bonuses, $1,000. And then like Esports Arena comes in and goes, $100,000 for the tournament right now. Bam, just crazy. And everyone's like, what?
Or that $1 million pop bonus for 2K.
So then I just was like, here it goes. Everybody with a lot of money is going to start pushing these.
Yeah.
So it's scary for me because, for I got family and kids and whatever else, and I've had this opportunity. I've had other opportunities to potentially sell. So like, esports org A sells to traditional or old money B, it's happening, and they like, it's going to happen. So my relevancy is getting weaker and weaker. Hell, I got Esports Arena that just moved into Oakland. I'm in San Francisco. Right. So like, these are things that are going to happen. And so teams like TSM and whatever else, they're going to get some sweetheart deals, but look, some other ones didn't. I'm going to say there was some drama around Immortals not getting anything. It was League, I want to say, or something.
Yeah, they got pushed out of League, and there was all sorts of drama thinking that
Overwatch League, I think.
Yeah, because they had bought into Overwatch. There was a rumor that Riot said, no, we don't want to have you in our league anymore. So
it's going to happen. These are things. I think, unfortunately, old money is going to do one thing that's bad for esports, and they're going to go, this is what I'm familiar with in traditional sports. Here's some money. Here's what I know. No, I don't want to spend money on the shit that I don't know. Do the thing that I'm familiar with. And they're going to go, well, that's a bad idea because trying to do new stuff in an old way is going to look terrible. That's why my apprehension towards the NBA is there, because was it fun as hell to watch an NBA draft of people? Yeah, it was great. It was funny. But is it necessary?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I've had a lot of conversations with, it's cool, it's novel. I don't know if it's necessary.
Well, look at the ROI of it, right? The return on their investment to fly out 100 gamers to do this thing and to get what did they
I have thought about that idea if like there was like an official draft for like esports players and everything. When I'm just at the same time, it's like what?
We had it for the NBA. Adam Silver fully ran that.
So but here's the thing though, is there's diminishing returns on this, right? So do you think that Esports Arena doing 2GG stuff at $100,000 would have been mostly effective if they cut that number in half, $50,000? Do you think that for every $1,000 gave them $1,000 or 1,000 more viewers. At some point, they're throwing a lot of money at this stuff, right?
Right, and not all of it actually is getting used.
It's not quite there. So look at Overwatch, right? Billions of dollars have been invested in this thing.
Yep.
And a guy in his PJs on Twitch can get more viewers than Overwatch with a shit webcam, playing one game and just like sitting there doing whatever because he's got more viewership. And so you've got billions of dollars trying to earn your eyeballs towards humongous efforts. And it's returning less than one person in his PJs. If I'm somebody like Nissan, if I'm somebody like, you name big sponsors, and I'm going, I spent $20 million on this ad campaign, and Joe Blow in PJs playing My Little Pony just because it's funny it has more viewership? That's crazy. So at some point, there's going to be diminishing returns. At some point, people are going to look at it and go, well, screw that. That wasn't worth it. And then it's going to hurt me because I'm going to go off and go, hey, I'm CJ, and with Showdown, I can do X. And they're going to be like, well, are you Joe Blow in PJs? No, I don't want to do business with you. I don't know. You already got burned by Overwatch League. I'm not saying the Overwatch League is a poor investment, but I think there's some diminishing returns there, in my opinion. I don't know. I think about it.
I got one more serious question before we get into some like dumb telling me about drunk Dewan or anything like that. So the final kind of serious question. So one of the things that I've really come to appreciate is whenever something comes up in the community or in the NorCal scene specifically, you will do a vlog and give the transparency. And I think that's awesome because I don't really, obviously I don't have the business perspective that you do on this. So I'm not sure where that balance kind of sits, what do you actually tell to your community is in terms of what you're doing moving forward and what do you keep kind of hidden back? How is there a way for you to understand best what to expose?
So it's funny that you bring that up because I had to go out of my comfort zone to do that. I'm totally fine talking in front of people. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it does need to be addressed, and I feel like it can still be addressed and be somewhat effective via text, but I feel like offering sincerity in video, there's truthness. You see the sincerity. And so this is also stemming from the reason why I did those was because not everybody knew who I was, and I'm very happy that they've been able to do this. My team members have been able to progress, right? I've had Andrew Wu, the rock star that is the reason why Showdown Smash exists, really, between him and Spencer. But he moved on into a great opportunity with HCC, and I was like, dude, awesome, good for you, man. That's really cool. But as these people become the face of my organization and then move on, I'm like, shit. Every time somebody moves, communication is really hamstrung. So I'm like, all right. So maybe I really should put a face to the organization that is me because this is me. I mean, I am Showdown basically. And so I thought to myself, from a business side, it's safer to trust me to represent me more often than say someone else, just because if somebody moves on, cool. I'll make sure that they get some spotlights. I'll make sure that they're more prominently displayed. But every once in a while, I'll try to create a vlog of something we're trying to do, inform people what we're trying to do. Because ultimately, when shit hits the fan, you could be certain it hits me, right? So at some point, it's cool to let people know that who they're working with. When put a face to the name of like, well, I don't want to always be the guy that's giving bad news because most of the time it is, right?
Yeah.
This happened, we apologize, or, hey, unfortunately, we've got to cancel, whatever. Because what I try to do is I try to redirect negativity to me, because that's what you do, right? And when shit hits the fan, and it goes uphill, right? You got to, like, you're ultimately responsible. The vlog thing, I didn't really want to do because it can also be perceived as an ego thing, right? Like, oh, sure, of course you want to be on camera. And my team always jokes about it. They're like, CJ, you talk too much. Shut the fuck up. Just stay behind the camera, do the business and shit. And I was always made fun of that, and they still get made fun of that for it. But ultimately, though, when cases of people moved on for awesome opportunities, did kind of lead my organization hard pressed to communicate and put a face to the organization. So that's why I try to do it every once in a while. I haven't done one in a while because I've been avoiding this one like the plague, and it's associated with Esports Arena. We definitely didn't want to work together with them. We tried for many months, and ultimately couldn't work something out with them. And we've had to. My organization had to make some changes. I've had some people leave my team, go on to another. So it's like, God damn it, I don't want to talk about this one. This one sucks. This one is what I'm avoiding, but I think I'll probably end up having to generate one here in the next few days. So, yeah. So
those are never fun.
Yeah, that's all right though.
I think we got time for a couple. Let's some.
No, he came in late. We're getting our hour.
The juicy bits. I will say this though, okay. Out of respect to everybody that I get fucked up with usually, or am a part of, there is a confidentiality that I impose. Unless they're crazy and they've done this in public, if there's shit that we talked about, like Twitch or the Evo party and whatever, like I don't really disclose that shit. Like who got, who had the hair, who would pray into the porcelain gods, had their hair pulled up while they were puking in my fucking bathroom.
Or who almost fell off a balcony floor of wrestling. Another smasher.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that shit. All right, hit me with it. What's up?
So, what's your favorite drunk Dewan on stream moment?
Well, obviously, I'm not yelling. Like, that was pretty good.
It's hilarious.
It spurred, because it spurred so much. There was... Drunk Dewan. Because when Dewan would get after it and he would play like shit, it wasn't actually very entertaining, right? He'd just like phone it in. He'd be like, "Fuck this," and there's just one more crack, and it'd be like, just get it done, right? But when sometimes he'll try hard, or like when Pew Pew and SFAT would actually, when finally they could make it into the Foundry, because they weren't 21, we had to really pull some strings to get them in. Technically, it was legal to get them in because Foundry's a brew pub, but the Foundry didn't want under 21s there. So we used to beg. And so like when Kevin, and when Pew Pew and SFAT would show up, they would beat the shit out of Dewan, because Dewan in his drunkest times is still like amazing. Yeah. Dewan doesn't, in my opinion, I don't know what his regiment is, but I think Dewan is one of the very rare people. I used to do this in sports too. I used to have a lot of friends in sports that would be like getting high all day, wake up still drunk, show up, get to the batter's box and hit a fucking home run and be like, "Fuck you, man." Because I practice all day long. I'm trying to be on the regular, like I try to do things right. There are some people with a God-given talent, and I think Dewan is really fucking good regardless. And it's been fun to watch. But when Pew Pew and SFAT would beat the shit out of him on stream, but he would still kind of try hard because it's them. It was pretty funny. Those were pretty good days. Because they would just stomp on him and then they'd fucking style on him a little bit.
Yeah. I think for me it's Dewan commentating his own set while drunk.
Oh Jesus! Yeah.
That one that will always just be like, Dewan, what are you even saying, Dewan? It doesn't make any sense.
My favorite commentary, though, is I think, if I can recall, it's always been Homie Waffles, but
sure,
sometimes it's Phil. I don't know who else he's done the play commentary with, but it's always
Hungry Box.
Yeah, goddamn, it's so good. I
Press
just love that.
if you feel bad for this man right now.
Well, yeah, that for sure. Those are always good. That was good, regardless. So yeah, when you put a mic on Dewan, it's just good in general. So
that's just quality entertainment right there.
Yeah.
So and then when are we getting a drunken showdown Smash Summit where there's everything goes to the win, because the only goal is everyone is not at all there.
So we used to, Foundry commentary was coined. The phrase is coined, and of all the people, we were perfect to really do that summit style drunken shenanigans stream. And then what ended up happening was Spencer hated it so much, because the poor guy's stuck on stream, right? He's like, he is like tethered to the stream, right? He can't go anywhere. And he would fucking hate listening to drunk commentary, drunk whatever. Because then what are they doing, right? It's not for me to worry about. It was more Spencer. They'd be like taking off the microphone and throwing it down and doing random shit and being fucking kids, basically. Spencer would be like, don't fucking break our stuff. And he would have to do it. And then Andrew would have to come and take care of it. But then Andrew sometimes would get after it. And then we were like, it was just a shit show. And so after a while, Spencer was doing things like, or we had Front Page at the time, right? So Twitch was kind of like, hey, we're not going to tell you to stop, but you probably can guess what will happen if it keeps going, right? Right? So in order to avoid that, to keep on Front Page, Spencer also was uploading our VODs. There are some VODs still out there, at least 20 to 30 tournaments where he wasn't capturing commentary at all. He would just literally record gameplay only, no commentary whatsoever, upload that and go, this is fucking garbage. So I was like, all right, let's stem it a little bit. So we were like, you can't be drunk on commentary. And so that's why you haven't seen Dawn on commentary really ever anymore. So it's just what happens. And so moving forward, though, we're not on Front Page anymore, and nor is it that valuable anymore. But what ended up happening with that, it was more of the people were spilling shit on our mix amps and like our mixers and whatever. And so like we were like, we'll have some fun with it. We'll still keep it chill and fun, but every time somebody try-harded on stream, it made it worse. So we're like, hey, have a drink, relax a little bit. Could fuck with these people. I definitely want to do it. I also am planning on some other bigger stuff that is will have fun elements too. So
you let me know about that because I want in.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely. I mean, this is public knowledge, but like HTC Throwdown was kind of our first big scale event. So I've been trying to bring back Throwdowns for a while. The Genesis Red that went down at that facility called Cornerstone was actually supposed to be our prospective new location. That owner kind of went a little sour on me, and we were supposed to be doing that. So Cornerstone, that Genesis Red was technically supposed to be a Throwdown, but we ended up working with Genesis on that instead. So I'm trying to bring back a Throwdown, but it's going to be a little bit larger, and I am targeting trying to do a major. I've been trying to do it for a while, but I've never really put a lot of time and effort into it. But I think you're going to see something announced here in the next probably 2 months safely. That will be a major scale effort. And that's not really a surprise to anybody. It's like, I'm trying to do it. I've been trying to do it. So, yeah.
All right. One final question before you go. The question we ask all Smash-related guests, since it's related to events and having fun.
What question is this?
Are you coming to Smash and Splash? And are you going to bring your family and not
work that's
for
a thing?
Weekend? And just enjoy the community and water park.
Yeah. There was actually it was mentioned earlier that there was talks of I was always trying to get involved in those types of things. There was some exploration of me being involved with that effort, but I couldn't make time for it. I gotta talk to him, but I really want to go. It's awesome. I love everything about the idea of it and what it is and what it represents. And so I really, and last year was phenomenally produced. It was great. Everything about last year was great. Was it last year that Hbox kicked the chair?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was just full of fucking highlights.
And the goddamn TV too. He didn't kick it, but I had to fix that damn thing.
Yeah. So it was great. That thing. It was awesome.
I mean, he dented that chair.
He bent the leg of the chair. He damaged the TV. He actually damaged like the frame of the TV. It was still working. There was static. We also did the happy birthday for Professor Pro when he was out there.
That's right. And the year prior was the tie incident, right, where TK threw the tie up in the air and it landed on.
No.
Okay. Was that it? I thought it was.
Yeah, it was it. It was either that. Yeah.
TK throws the tie up in the air and it lands on
Coney's head. Yeah.
Coney's head. Yeah. Okay. That's one of my favorite like little things I've ever seen. But I thought it was that because they were wearing like. The shit. What's the? I'm
God damn it!
Oh no, not the luau, not the. Oh my god!
You mean the Lays? The Lays.
Holy shit! Sorry, Hawaii.
I was gonna let you guys stammer for that one for a bit. I was gonna let you guys struggle.
Oh god, that was uncomfortable.
I want to go. I definitely want to go, but we're not rolling in dough. So every time I'm like just flying out just for fun. One, like I said, my wife gives me the, "Oh, you're gonna do that? Have fun with that." I'm just gonna be here with the kids.
Yeah, that stink eye.
Doing your shit. And then the other thing is most of the time, the $1,000 I would spend on going out there or whatever it would be, I invest typically back into the business. So like, still kind of doing that for now until I'm like turning away business. That's why I don't really go out to a lot of stuff unless I'm being paid to. So
fair enough.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm gonna let you go. Go do what you need to do. Family man here.
Yeah, I gotta go pick up the kids, guys. I really appreciate being on here.
Dude, it was fantastic having you, and hopefully I'll be back in the Bay early September. We'll have to get a beer.
Oh yeah, man, beer or 4, right? And just any amount.
Oh yeah.
I really do appreciate being on here. It was great to do. Sorry to derail a bunch of times, but
no, that's what we do. It's like a talk show, like a late night talk show. Except it's like 5:00 in the afternoon right now.
Nice. Well, I appreciate it, and guys, hopefully we run into each other soon, and
sure.
Be on the lookout for some cool stuff that Showdown's going to be doing and announcing. So I guess some things that are worthwhile that I'd like to mention is we're going to be part of an Extra Life thing going on this weekend. That'll be fun. So we're going to be working SF Shock actually with Overwatch is going to be helping out promote. We're going to do like a viewing party, but we're doing a couple tournaments: Smash Bros, Street Fighter, I think DBZ, DBFC, so we're going to be doing that. And then if anybody's a fan of like anime or conventions like them, Fanime is coming up next month. We've yet to announce, but we're going to be hosting some tournaments there. And that's kind of one of our efforts is we're going to be kind of offering turnkey solutions for large scale conventions for everything, because we have everything. I have like 20 of every console, great, whatever. We're very blessed. And so the next step for us, like I was saying, instead of kind of going off to these large scale things, we're actually going to try to provide some value for conventions, those looking to get into gaming. We're trying to consult for them so that, like last year, Fanime was like, here's some consoles. Okay, what are you gonna do with those? Play.
Games.
Like, all right, well, let's try to encourage competition. Let's facilitate the entire exchange, and let's build some value for you guys. So that's what we're trying to do.
Nice. For events like that, do you do it through Showdown or Game Vibes, or I guess both?
Yeah, so there's some distinction there. The reason why Game Vibes exists was because people are like, "What the fuck does Showdown? What doesn't Showdown do?" So I was like, "All right, so." SF Game Night was a hashtag, and that's what it was referred to at the Foundry. And then for one, I can't own a hashtag. Calling it the Showdown or whatever, like I don't want to call it my company brand name. So Game Vibes represents basically parties and experiences, unique event experiences. So we do video game themed events as a service and hosting at the Foundry. Showdown is basically encompassed in 2 efforts, which is esports. So we'll facilitate or create our own esports experiences, both as a service and as our own. But and then Showdown Media is just doing a lot of video production as a service. So we have clients that are not even related to gaming whatsoever that we'll produce for nowadays. So
nice.
That's Game Vibes is slightly different in that regard. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to the big news. Good luck. Godspeed.
Yeah, should be good. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
All right. End and closing and everything before you dip out on us, before you let them go. All right, so that concludes today's episode of Mind Games, everyone. So as you already know, I always do the shout-outs to everyone that has followed, supported us, or anything in the end. So shout-outs to CJ Scaduto for the follow, Dr. Swagenheimer for the host, 085855 for the 6-month subscribe. Thank you. I haven't really been doing much other than these shows, so you staying here for 6 months is godlike. Sour626, thank you for the host and everything. And once again, to everyone that's been viewing us and watching, thank you for tuning in. This has been Mind Games with D Disciple Astarion with our special guest CJ Scaduto of Showdown, Game Vibes, and all of that. So if you guys are out in the NorCal area, head up to Foundry. If he's there, grab a beer and chill. But once again, this is D Disciple. We're signing off, everybody. Later.
Peace.
See you guys.
See ya.
All right, guys.
That was fun.